Alright, y'all. I had another dream about Hillary Clinton. And in this dream, she was in some kind of court, but I feel like it was taking place on another dimensional level. Like maybe she was in some kind of a celestial, like higher court, not on the physical realm, but like something on the spiritual level. And they were like judging her for the different things that she's done. It was set in the future for now. And they had this like big TV screen in the court, and they were showing on there things that happened while she was president. Or something like that, because specifically the part that I actually saw in the dream was they were playing something on the TV screen of the Earth. With some sort of, like, showing the Earth from space almost, or like from really high up in the sky. And there was a tornado of fire in the United States. But it was not like a regular tornado, okay? It was something just bizarre, like I've never seen before. It was like magma or lava. I don't know if it was like a volcano or I really don't know what it was, because it's something that I've never seen before, honestly. It reminded me of a volcano because it had magma and it was in the earth, or at the level of where the earth was, like the ground, there was magma, okay? But above it, there was like fire, and it was like revolving, okay? I don't know what it was, but that's what I saw. And okay, so that TV screen showed that in the United States, and someone was saying like that's not the only place it happened. Look somewhere else on the earth. And so whoever was controlling the TV camera thing or whatever, it's like whatever was showing on that TV screen in the court was like literally they could show anywhere at any time, like the Akashic record or something, okay? It was not like something recorded or a satellite view or something like that. It was like the Akashic record, and they could show from any point of view at any time in the past or the future, whatever. So they went to another section of the earth, and again it was the same thing. It was that lava thing with like a fiery tornado above it. And they were like, so this happened at 2 places on the earth. And it was like an apocalyptic type thing. And it turned the sky red. Like the way the sky looks when there's like a big fire burning. and Hillary Clinton was like standing in the middle of this courtroom thing, and I was standing there too for some reason. I don't know if I was like physically there or if I was just being shown it on the spiritual level, but I was there, also standing in the center of the room or whatever, and I looked at Hillary Clinton, and she was like smirking, like she wasn't even nervous about being in court or regretting of the things that happened. And I just looked at her and I was like, I remember this happening. It was right after one of your campaigns. And like I told y'all, this dream was set in the future from now. So trying to understand what I was saying in that dream, like, I wonder if that means that after shortly after she wins this election, or I wonder if the further implications of that, by the way of me saying one of your campaigns, I wonder if she'll win president twice and get 2 terms of president. And I don't know. Hecate wasn't really with me in this dream like she normally is, where she like tells me what's going on or gives me further guidance while I'm seeing the scenes. So it's just what I saw and my own interpretation of it as of right now. And the next part of the dream was very bizarre, okay? Because in the next part of the dream, they were talking about somebody that Hillary was responsible for their death on some level, in some way. And everyone thought this person was dead. And in this part of the dream, Donald Trump was also in the court, and he brought that person out on a medical stretcher, and they actually were not dead, and everyone thought they were. And this person had, once again, this was all on the spiritual level, okay? So this person had some kind of small parasitic entity in his lower back. And it was like that person had died, but this parasitic entity was like living through his body, okay? And it was very violent and aggressive. When they brought this person out on the stretcher, he was like sedated, and Donald Trump told the doctor, he was like, okay, wake him up and let's see what he's like now after Hillary Clinton did whatever she did with him. And so they took out the IVs that were keeping him sedated, and he slowly awakened, and he became like very aggressive and violent and just trying to incite conflict and fighting and stuff like that. Now, they imprisoned him after that. Sorry y'all, I just literally just woke up from these dreams, so I'm sorry, but I probably look ratchet. But I just had to share these before my memory starts to get fuzzy of them. So in the next part of the dream, this court or whatever brought in some more people, that are speaking out against Hillary, and it was as though they were talking about how she caused war, how she was causing war and destruction. And I do know from my dreams of Hecate oracles, where Hecate was telling me that Hillary will cause war when she becomes president, and at a level that this world has not seen in a long time. I don't know if that means a world war. I don't know if that just means that there will actually be war here on American soil, which has not happened for a long time. America's really good at taking wars to other countries and fighting wars in other lands, but it seems like there might be actual war taking place on our country's soil. What else? In this dream as well, though, in the next part, I actually did feel Hecate's presence finally, and I think I got more information about the demonic spirit that's possessing Hillary. Let me clarify this right now in this video. We are all possessed of spirits, okay? Don't think of possession how movies portray it, alright? The word inspiration means being influenced by spirits, okay? Everyone, or rather I should say, everything that we do has a spiritual motivation. It has a spiritual cause, okay? And I don't just mean spiritual in terms of your spirituality. I'm talking like psychologically here, because remember I've always said that spirit and psychology are the same to me, or at least very closely tied together. Anything that you do, there's a spiritual driving force behind it. Whether you're conscious of that or not, whether you consider that part of your spirituality or not, that's just how it is in reality, okay? There's a spiritual force or a spirit causing you to do the things that you do. Now, when I talk about Hillary Clinton being possessed of a demonic spirit, what I'm saying is that she has a demonic spirit driving her actions, whether she's conscious of it or not. Okay? And that spirit, that demonic spirit, is a very dictator spirit. Okay. As far as everything I've learned about it so far and what I've said to you guys already. Now, what I learned in this dream, I think I learned more about that spirit because I learned that it is a spirit of war, specifically. It just wants war directly, like that's its main goal. And it was weird because something of Donald Trump was trying to kill Hillary in this dream. I'm just gonna honestly tell y'all like that. Now remember, this is on the spiritual level. It wasn't on a physical, earthly level, on the earthly plane. So I don't really think that Donald Trump's gonna try to kill Hillary, but just on the spiritual level, possibly the spirit of Trump was trying to kill the spirit of Hillary. And it was like beating her, but she would not die. Something. It was like that spirit that's in her was beyond being killed. It was being attacked, beaten, whatever, but it would not die. It was very resilient. And I was looking at her, and like there was blood coming out of her mouth and stuff. It's a symbolic, like I said, of the spiritual level. But she was smiling and laughing. And that's when Hecate told me, the spirit that's in her is not human. It's not a human soul. It is demonic spirit of war. So it wasn't used by any attacks that were being done at it, because that just fuels its power. It is a spirit of war. So the very next, the kind of the final part of this dream was that this whole court, this is kind of interesting because I've had past dreams kind of similar. In one of my past dreams, there was some kind of a political court. Like Congress or the House of Representatives, where there's like a semicircle of seats and there's like a central stage. And all the political things are there, the people or whatever. I had a dream of this before, I think last year or the year before, and the gods were there, and they were the ones who were like ruling together. It was democratic. What am I trying to say? It was like the government that we're supposed to have in the United States, the Democratic Republic, where there's elected officials and it's a government for the people, and what the people want. But the gods were overseeing it. So this dream that I had tonight was similar, because that courtroom thing was the same, and it was taking place in space somewhere, and just like in my other dream where the gods had their court or whatever. It was like this floating building in space, and once again I know it's symbolic, like above the earth though, in the celestial in space. Okay. And so this court that I had the dream of tonight with Hillary was happening in space, in that same floating thing, or in a similar one. And at the end of it, they literally threw Hillary out of the building and threw her down to the earth. And she came crashing down all the way from outer space down to the earth, hit the ground, and she was still alive. And again, she was bloodied at, but she was like smirking and smiling about it and laughing, because she knows that she couldn't die. And once again, this is talking about the spirit that's in Hillary, not her physical form, okay? Not her physical ego identity. It's the spirit that drives her. Now, I feel like she landed in Native American land, so there might be some kind of tie-in with that, with what's going on with the Dakota Access Pipeline and stuff like that. We're having the Native American rise up and protest the government, kind of in general. If you listen to what they're saying, they're exposing how the government does not keep their word. They're not really for the people anymore. But anyway, that's the dreams I had last night. It was very long. It was a really long dream. And I'm trying to remember it all. With the part of, it's like with the part of the, what was it? With the part of that person who died, that some kind of parasite went in his lower back, in his spine, and started to control his body as a living host. I also had a dream similar of that this year sometime, not too long ago. I dreamed that people were dying and that some kind of parasite was going into them and controlling their body. And it was very weird. Hecate was not present in that dream either, so I don't know if it's truly psychic or not, or just symbolic. But whoever would become possessed by this parasite you would be able to cut them, and their wounds would just heal like really fast. And stuff like that. And they just wanted to kill, like their goal was to kill people and let the more parasites possess them. It's very, very scary and weird. But it was similar to the dream that I had tonight, because whenever they would become possessed by that parasite, they would have like super strength to fight and just do stuff like that, fighting conflict. I tend to think that that's symbolic, maybe because of the nature of tonight's dream, where it was like clearly taking place on the spiritual level, so a lot of the dream was symbolic, including that part of the person with the parasite. So I kind of feel like it's a warning to us, make sure that with whatever happens, already right now with this election, people choosing Trump or choosing Hillary, and they get very aggressive with each other, like immediately. I've made some political posts on Facebook, not supporting either of them, by the way, just talking about politics in general, or talking about Hillary. And And but I make it clear every time that I post that I don't support either one of them. I don't support politics at all because it is so corrupt. People get on there commenting and they start arguing with each other, really talking bad about each other's personal character just based on who they're choosing for this election. Don't lose yourself to this, okay? Don't lose your calm, soulful, centered self over something as ridiculous as choosing a president when our votes don't even matter anyway. Unless you're part of the electoral college, your votes don't even really matter, okay? That's legitimate. You can look that up. That's true. The only votes that actually matter for selecting a president is the votes of the electoral college, okay? That's the truth. It's in the laws of the United States of America, okay? So people getting so fired up and clashing heads with each other over who they're voting for, who they're supporting, is very stupid. It's very stupid. That's all I have to say on it. The whole point of living in a country like we live in, a democratic republic, is about healthy debate. It's about not even really healthy debate. It's supposed to be about negotiation. It's supposed to be about diplomacy, where we talk with each other, discuss our differences, and come to a resolution together. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be peace, okay? So people who are getting, like, I keep seeing people post on Facebook, oh, if you support Donald Trump, just delete me from your Facebook right now because da-da-da-da. Like, really? That's so stupid. That is so stupid because what they're doing is they're locking themselves in a smaller world mentally when they do that. They're closing themselves off to see other views when they do that. It's a very small-minded thing that they're doing because, and dangerous as well. It's very dangerous and small-minded, and it is not part of being a democratic republic. You're supposed to have your views, but still be willing to see other people's views. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what it means to be open-minded. And that's what it means to be spiritual but not religious. Okay? So, they're closing themselves in a smaller world, a smaller community that does not have any opposing views to them. That's kind of like a dictator spirit too. You're like, I don't want to see any views other than my own and people who support my views specifically. That's kind of like a dictator spirit, you guys. And vice versa, the people who support Trump saying the same thing about Hillary supporting, it's ridiculous, okay? Remember always that the left wing and the right wing are both wings on the same bird, okay? Politics, however it started off in this country, now it's a game of divide and conquer, okay? They're all one team against us now. Understand that. It doesn't matter who you're voting for, first of all. It doesn't matter who you support, I should say, first of all. They are all their own team against the people. Alright? They're the ruling class against the rest of this country. And they want to keep it that way. That's all they care about. That's just the truth. Now, we're all part of the same bird, okay? So letting their shenanigans, which is what I view all campaigns as, I mean, honestly, this is the most ridiculous fucking campaign I've ever seen in my lifetime. With Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. The way that their debates have been, it's been ridiculous. It's been like watching two people in their egos arguing. Honestly. If you have not watched the 3 debates that these presidents have had, or presidential candidates have had, go watch those. It's very ridiculous. Very non-professional. Very immature. How they're dealing with each other and how they talk about each other. Very little of those campaigns that even talk about what their plans for the future are. Or for if they win. It's really just this heated argument more than a debate. It's very emotional centered rather than mental rationality arguments. Go watch it, you guys, and just see what I'm talking about. It's very ridiculous. Go from that to watching past presidential debates. What the fuck? Okay. That's all I can say about it. There's an animosity in these debates, okay, that are not present in past presidential debates in the country. They're very emotionally immature, centered, and that's what you see in the people who are supporting either one of these candidates. Alright? Sorry, my hand is in a weird position, but that's what you see that reflected in the people who are supporting either one of these candidates. There's very emotional centeredness. Rationality and reason are kind of thrown out the window. And the peaceableness that comes with it, with reasoning, with diplomacy, with healthy debate. This presidential candidacy is not healthy. It's not a healthy debate. It's not healthy. The emotional level of it has been corrupted. I'm sorry, I got the camera cut off, but the emotional level of it has been corrupted, okay? It's to where that people are very, very much being aggressive with each other. And it's crazy. So my point is that don't let this influence you at such a level that you change your centeredness, that you lose your inner peace. You need to be grounded in your spirituality all the time, especially if you claim to be a witch or a spiritual person or something like that. You need to be centered in your peace and your harmony at all times, regardless if you're facing opposition or if you disagree with somebody. You don't need to let that change your internal balance and throw it off. To such a degree that you won't even acknowledge opposing views or other views, not even necessarily opposing, but just other views in general. That's a dangerous space to be in. If you're doing that, it's a closed-minded place to be in. And it's dangerous because it leads to an attitude of, it's my way or the highway. It's what I say or else. Dictator spirit. This world is full of people who have different thoughts and different ideas, and the Creator made it that way for a reason. We're not all supposed to be the exact same, okay? So when you get into a place where you're telling people you don't share the exact same views as me, then I don't even want you in my life, period. That's just very stupid and dangerous. And it's really the spirit of war. So, if that's the case, if we're already seeing this happening now, before these presidential elections are even done, what the hell is it going to be after? I mean, really, y'all. Is there going to be a fucking civil war in the United States over this stupid shit? Which is probably what they want anyway, the government. One of their major goals is population reduction. You can look that up, research into it. And war is a great way to do that. And why? Because greater control. Fewer numbers are easier to control, okay? A house divided cannot stand. Divide and conquer. If we put another civil war in America, we are not united. And that makes it easier for something else to come in and gain control over us. can disagree with people without becoming so hostile towards them. We're all spirits. And you need to remember that and stay grounded in that. Doesn't matter if we have different views or not. Don't become dictatorial of other people and their views just because they're different from yours. That is so stupid and so dangerous. And if it does lead to some kind of a war in America, well then we're all just setting ourselves up to be taken over by something far worse than what we already have with this ruling class of government over us. It's funny because Hillary Clinton's campaign thing is stronger together, and she's right. Her and her government, the government that she's part of, they're all stronger together because even though they disagree, even though they debate and have different views, they're all still together as one group of the government. Okay? At the end of the day, her and Donald Trump probably shake hands and eat dinners together and laugh about their debate. That's the truth. So, it's all... Sorry, once again, the camera cut off again. I'm gonna have to splice all these videos together, but... it's all an act, okay? Understand that. Politics... Someone told me this before. Or I heard this somewhere before. Politics is acting for ugly people. Alright, y'all. They're actors. That's the truth. They are actors. They're playing a role. They're still ordinary, regular people. When that camera shuts off. When they go backstage. When they are just at home being themselves. They're regular fucking people, okay? What you see of their political career is a presentation, okay? 100%. So, no matter how heated and aggressive you see their campaign commercials and their debates, behind closed doors, they're just regular people and they're actually on a team together the whole time. So stronger together. Yeah. That's true. And think about this. The American people are so clearly being divided right now. I mean, they're using the race wars to divide African American people from the rest of us. They're using Hillary and Donald Trump and the views for America to drive division as well. This is unheard of. How far they're going with this election to create an atmosphere of division is very concerning compared to other elections. They're really, really driving it to an atmosphere of division of the American people. And you have to wonder why. One of my first goddesses I worked with was Goddess Athena, goddess of strategy in war, goddess of wisdom. So when I see these things taking place, well, I see it as strategy in war, okay? The government of this country will always be viewing the rest of us as something to control. They are very much engaged in a war over us, but it's not a war of guns. It's a war of strategy, of control, okay? So understand that everything connects to everything else. Don't view anything as an isolated event. See how it all connects. This is strategy. When I see that they're trying so hard to create division in this country between just the regular everyday people, it makes me wonder, what is that trying to lead up to? What are they trying to lead that up to? Okay. They want war here. You can look at how they've been training the army lately, the military lately, or in the past few years, really. They've been training the military dealing with political dissidents and civilian dissidents. They're doing that at the same time while they create an atmosphere of political division in America. That's crazy. Knowing that it was leading up to this election, like I said, you can't look at something from a few years ago and say, this is an isolated incident. You have to look at it all together and understand it in that way of strategy. The best strategies are ones that you don't even realize are happening. I don't know why I got into all this in this video, but I feel like it needs to be said. It needs to be shared. And the Oracle of the Red Dragon that's coming, you guys. I feel like it's coming in November. Shortly after the election.